I had always been obsessed with the macabre, lured by the promise of forbidden places that time had forgotten. Abandoned buildings, derelict factories, crumbling mental asylums. I'd seen them all. But nothing compared to Blackthorn Prison. Blackthorn had been abandoned for decades, its dark history veiled in mystery. Some said it was shut down due to inhumane conditions. Others claimed it was because of something far worse, something that no one dared to talk about. I'd heard whispers, rumors about strange rituals, violent outbursts, and prisoners who simply vanished. But that didn't stop me. No, it only made me want to go more. I arrived at the prison just after dusk, the sky a murky purple fading into night. The gate hung open, rusted and creaking in the cool wind that seemed to whisper warnings into my ear. Beyond it, the hulking structure of the prison loomed like a great beast, its cracked walls swallowing the fading light. The air was thick, heavy with an unnatural stillness. I should have turned back right then, but I didn't. I never do. As I stepped inside, the temperature dropped instantly, far colder than it should have been for that time of year. The scent of mildew and decay filled the air, and the crunch of broken glass and debris under my boots echoed like gunshots in the empty corridors. Every step I took felt heavier, as if something unseen was pulling me deeper into the heart of the prison. The cells were empty, just as I expected, long abandoned, with rusted bars and broken doors hanging off their hinges. But as I wandered through the labyrinth of crumbling hallways, I felt it. A presence. I can't explain it, but the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and a sick feeling gnawed at the pit of my stomach. I wasn't alone. I pressed on, telling myself it was just nerves. But then I heard it, a scraping sound, like metal dragging across concrete. I froze, heart hammering in my chest. It came from somewhere down the hall, just ahead. Slowly, I moved toward the noise, the beam of my flashlight flickering as if the very air was draining its energy. The sound grew louder, more urgent, until I stood in front of a cell, door barely hanging onto its hinges. My flashlight sputtered, casting long, dancing shadows. And that's when I saw it. A figure. It crouched in the corner, its back to me, hunched over something I couldn't see. Its body was gaunt, skin pulled tight over bones, its limbs unnaturally long. I couldn't tell if it was human or if it had ever been. "Hey," I called out, my voice shaky but louder than I intended. The thing froze, and for a second the entire world seemed to stop. It turned its head slowly, unnaturally, like a puppet being twisted by invisible strings. Its face. God, its face. Hollow, sunken eyes stared back at me, eyes that weren't human. Its mouth stretched impossibly wide, a gaping black maw, void of teeth, but filled with an endless darkness that seemed to swallow the light from my flashlight. I stumbled back, tripping over debris as it rose to its full height. It towered over me, at least 7 feet tall, its body contorted in ways that made my skin crawl. I couldn't move. I was frozen in place, trapped by its gaze, and that's when it spoke. The voice wasn't natural. It was like a chorus of whispers, echoing from every direction at once, low and guttural, speaking words I didn't understand. But I felt them. They weren't asking. They were commanding. "Leave!" My body jerked forward, and I bolted, tearing down the hall as fast as my legs would carry me. The walls seemed to stretch on forever, twisting and distorting around me. The sound of scraping metal followed me, growing louder, faster. I didn't dare look back. I finally burst through the front entrance, the cold night air hitting me like a wall. I ran to my car, heart pounding in my ears, and sped off without looking back. In the rearview mirror, I could see the prison silhouetted against the dark sky, its windows like empty eyes staring into my soul. I don't know what that thing was. I don't want to know. But I've felt it ever since. Felt it watching, waiting. I hear its whispers at night, just before I fall asleep. And sometimes, when I close my eyes, I see that face again, grinning from the darkness. I haven't gone back to Blackthorn Prison. But something tells me it's not finished with me yet. Something tells me it never will be.